Okay, this is Shine, and I'm going to talk about the office building project in Adana. And well, where to start from, I guess. I will talk briefly about the design process. The design process was very short. It was the preparation for the construction documentations and the submittals to the municipality. It was 2 months maximum time frame. So we had to be very fast, because if we were slow and we couldn't make it to the deadline, we were going to risk the possibility of the plot being closed down to buildable areas. And so in a way we did have a good rationale in our planning. We tried to maximize office space. By doing that, we made sure that our clients were happy with the amount of meter squares available for their rentable areas. And we took out the wet volumes, the circulation systems, vertical circulation systems, everything outside of the rentable areas if you look at the plans. So, but with that came a big controversy, whether if someone would like to have their own wet volumes within the units, and we later provided that type of option for each unit to have their own wet volumes. But in any case, a lot of things didn't go according to plan in this project. A lot of things, many things, and it was very frustrating. And but here's the thing: when whatever we put on the paper, I mean, people interpret it in a different way. The people on the site, so they make mistakes. But as architects, our goal was to take these mistakes and selectively modify certain parts of our architecture to make a new composition out of the mistakes. For instance, one of the mistakes was the fact that there was missing structural drawings for the overhang systems in the facade, which made the floor slabs look as if it was 90 centimeters instead of 30, which now it is 30 centimeters. And all of the roof structures were designed in a way to match that type of overhang. But now, I mean, after that mistake happened, we had to make the parapet designs and everything change so that we could adapt to that system. And I think this project was 30% planned and 70% improvised on the site. But it did end up pretty nice. We didn't lose the platonic geometries. We made it basically a square with 150 centimeters of cantilevered spaces. And with that, we kept the geometry simple, very simple. But even though it was simple, there was still some mistakes that we had to deal with. In any other case, what was interesting about the project was the use of the marble in the project. And the marble was called the Marmara marble, and it was widely recognized as a marble dedicated for Turkish baths, hammams as they call it. And I probably been once or twice in my life in a Turkish bath. I never paid attention to the marble work, and I was pretty young at that time. But apparently that's the type of marble that people always used in Turkish baths. But what we were trying to do was find a geometrical marble. By that I mean the veins having the straight lines, and this marble was very sharp in its nature. It had like these very deep black veins that were completely straight, almost like it was drawn by a ruler. And that being said, we thought that it would be perfect for our west facade, where we had to make a solar shading device. And At first, the subcontractor who dealt with the marbles, he laid out the sides of the marble work. And I went to the construction often, very often. I went there like almost 3 times a week. It was convenient for me because it was close to my house. At the time I was living in an apartment near the office building. And I checked upon there a lot of times, and I would always get lunch at the restaurant nearby to this office. And there, after we ate with my partner, we stepped outside the restaurant and we were going towards the office building, and the owner of the restaurant ran almost like chasing us down the street, and he came out of breath to ask us this very interesting question. He said, who came up with this, silly idea of this Turkish bath marble on the facade of the building? And that was pretty funny. But later, after the facade was complete, after all the elements came, the vertical solar systems that were made out of the marble, the same guy said to us, no, you were actually right, this was a good idea to use this type of marble on the facade. So, and for us it's important what the people think of our designs in our buildings. It's because not everyone is an architect, and we need to know how people view our buildings. Then later we had other problems, such as the fact that the gallery space in the interior wasn't made, and we had to go back to our drawing boards and redraw that space, that double-heighted space, to be opened up, and it was very costly for the owners of the projects. And later we were able to open that hall to make a gallery space, and that made a huge difference in the project, because the entry is important. When you enter into the building, you want to feel nice. You want to have like this vertical space that is great, and you want to enter, you want to see where you're going, you want to be oriented without anyone telling you where to go. So we paid close attention to the entry hall of this project. And we were very stubborn about opening that hall to make sure that you entered in a very open space inside. And now I hear that the government has rented, the municipality has rented the entire building, and they're going to be occupying it. And it's good to know that nothing is, there's no vacant units in the building at the moment. And yeah, that's the first things that come to my mind when I think about this project, but there's a lot more to talk about. And we could talk about that, I guess, on another time. So thank you.